I am always interested in new notebooks. Hi everybody, today I am taking a look at the new Softbound notebooks from Erin Condren. They just released them this past month. My original thought was to not bother. I wasn't really feeling doing another like planner or notebook review right now, but many of you guys requested I take a look at these, especially in their fitness for bullet journaling, in my opinion, and I decided, okay, I'll order a couple of them. So these notebooks come in two different styles, either college ruled lined or like college rule lines or dot grid. And then they come in several colors, I think 10 or 12 different colors. And all of the colors are this like shimmery kind of, like they're all called like shimmer rose gold, shimmer charcoal, shimmer whatever. And then they come with the asterisks on the front in a different color foil. Just so happens the two I picked out have rose gold foil, but the different colors have different foil colors. You don't get to pick what foil color is the asterisk. At the moment, these are $14 each on the website, and personalization is free. And I decided to get one personalized so we could see what that looked like, and then the other one I did it in case I want to give this away. I got the embossed rose gold foil with my name on it on the front here that matches the rose gold for the whole thing. You can pick between rose gold, platinum, or gold foil. It does not offer the blind emboss that they offer on some of their other items. They're about the same size as the hardcover notebooks. They're 5 inches by 8.5 inches. Here is one of the hardcover notebooks. It looks like they are the exact same size. They're just different types of covers. I love the shimmery surface of this. I think it is really pretty. It has like a nice kind of leathery feel to it, but it's not leather. It's like plastic of some sort. It feels very luxurious, and I love the foil on the front, but I'm kind of a hoe for rose gold. So these are the rose gold and the charcoal ones. Now you open them up and the inside has the same words on the inside, but I'm assuming this is different based on the different notebooks you pick, but like this one has rose gold accents on the inside. So the woven wheat pattern and the font here have the foil that matches the outside, the rose gold. So I'm assuming that if you're getting one that does not have a rose gold, has maybe a silver or a gold asterisk, that these will have those colors of foil. It's an assumption though, I'm not looking at one in person. Erin Condren says that these are bound, which they are, bound soft, so you can kind of bend them like this. Although you could probably fold it if you really tried to, but the cover is pretty thick and sturdy even though it is a softer cover, so it does have some durability on the outside. Kind of reminds me of the material that they use to make their folios, except that it's got this paper layer on the inside. So pretty durable, but still pretty flexible. Now it says that they lie flat. Now when you open them, they don't lie flat. Like, that's not lie flat, but I'm assuming if you open and you just sort of train it down, then it lies flat. So that's nice. There are some notebooks that you get where you try and open them like here. The hardbound ones still don't lie completely flat even with that first initial training. But with these guys, if you train it down, pretty much lies flat, maybe a little bit of a bounce back. So that's good. Now the stitching in these notebooks, much like the Archer and Olive, does not go to the top on either of the pages. So it kind of flaps up a little bit if you fuck with it, so don't fuck with it. And it's got a few big stitches down the middle. There's also a matching bookmark. There are 124 pages in these, and the paper feels, I mean, they didn't tell me what the paper weight was, but it has the same kind of nice weight to it that the notepads do, and the notepads have really nice paper, so that feels really good. I would not say the paper is bright white. It is white. It's not bright white. It's maybe a slight tint to it, but not anywhere near as like yellow or cream as like the Leuchtturm or the Scribbles That Matter. In the dot grid have color flags along the top that change like in a rainbow pattern as you go through, which is very similar to their other dot grid items. And then it's got the Erin Condren logo at the bottom of every spread, which is just, I've said this before with other notebooks that they've done, having the branding on every single spread, just, it does not appeal to me because I know it's an Erin Condren notebook. I don't need to be told every single page. And on the front it has this opening page, although I will say it does that weird thing where like when you have like the initial kind of cardstocky page and then these are kind of glued together. So this does not lie flat. This is like glued like this, and that's a little weird to me. But other than that, it's the same dot grid that they usually go with, which is bigger than the dot grids that you see in a lot of other bullet journal notebooks. Like you compare the dot grid size, and you also notice this paper is a lot like bluer white than in the Archer and Olive. The actual size of the grid in the Erin Condren is bigger than the size of the grid in like the Archer and Olive or in the Scribbles That Matter in the Leuchtturm. Measurement wise, the dot grid is in the Archer and Olive is about 3/16, and in the Erin Condren it's about 1/4 of an inch. So there is a size difference. There's two things that make me point this out. One, that the page is smaller. This is an A5 size notebook. This is a 5 by 8.5 size notebook. So there's less space to begin with. And then each grid, like little dot grid, is a little bit bigger, which means if you're using those to like measure things out or count out however many boxes to create a tracker or something like that, you're gonna have less of them on this, not only because the page is narrower, but because the boxes in the page are also bigger than in a different notebook. The other thing I will mention is that there is like a column here down the edge. It does not go straight to the edge. There is an open space down the edge in the center on both sides. If that matters to you when you're bullet journaling, it's just something to be aware of. It does not take the dot straight to the edge, and it does not, and the dot grid is bigger. The pages are edged with the same foil color, which I think is a beautiful touch. These are stunning notebooks. They're absolutely beautiful. And then on the back, it's got this little like advertisement page and then more foil. So that's the dot grid. Looking at the college ruled, you have the same kind of, you know, opening up. The difference is like the inside here is pink with rose gold, and the inside here is like charcoal and gray with the rose gold. The college ruled lines, again with the column down the side, the rainbow of flags up at the top, but the line does not have the Erin Condren branding on it. I wish that was the case with the dot grid. The line does not have any Erin Condren branding on it besides the little flags up here at the top. The lines themselves are kind of they're a visible gray, but they're not super dark, which is kind of nice. So this would be a good like journaling notebook, and the paper is just the same thick paper. I'm going to pen test on this paper right here in the back. So I've actually pulled a bunch of pens to see how this paper holds up. A gel pen, this is a Uniball Signo. I have a Pilot fine liner, which is my current favorite fine liner. I have a Tombow dual brush pen. I also have a Sharpie marker, which is the permanent style of pen, a Jane Davenport mermaid marker, which is like a watercolor ink sort of situation. And I just want to see how they all fare, since I know people like to use art supplies in their bullet journals. I wanted to do more than just the standard writing pens. This is really impressive. There's some shadowing from the dual brush. I think they all have a little bit of ghosting except for the fine liner. The fine liner doesn't have any ghosting. The most ghosting is from the Sharpie, which is probably to be expected, but it did not bleed through. The Tombow and the mermaid marker both ghost a little bit, but not much, and then the gel leaves a little bit of that ridge from having a heavy hand. Honestly, this is pretty handy in terms of paper. Now, I want to try something else though, just to see, in the spirit of art journaling. I'm going to grab my water brush and some watercolor paint because I want to try putting watercolor down. The mermaid marker is not super juicy. I didn't squeeze it up. So I'm gonna put in paint directly, and then I'm gonna do wet on wet, where I put water down and then put paint on top of that, because I wanna see how this paper reacts to it. The paper does not seem to be pilling at all. It seems to feel okay, even with a couple of layers of watercolor, which is nice. Some paper tends to, when it's not watercolor paper, it tends to start to pill up or like scrape up once you've put water on top of it. This did not do that. This actually stayed pretty smooth. Now going to the back, you can feel the crumpliness with everything after, like any of these two right here where there was more than one layer of water. The paper does not feel smooth anymore. It feels wrinkly, which means the water is soaking through, but you can't really see it very much, any more so than you see like the stuff down here, the Sharpie, the Tombow, the mermaid marker. So it held up pretty well, and it looks really nice. It's not all crunchy, it's not all gross, it's just warped. So you could use water in this. That's pretty awesome. I wasn't expecting that. So overall, what do I think of these as a bullet journal option? I think it's a pretty decent option. I would say the paper is great. They're beautiful. You can customize them. There's less pages in this book than there would be in a lot of the other more popular notebooks. So there is that. You would need more of these, but it is a cheaper price. So you kind of are weighing one to the other. And like I said, the paper is great for for doing this stuff on. For me, the two things that would keep me from really wanting to use this as a bullet journal all the time are A, it's the smaller size. I have said before that a smaller, shorter notebook is fantastic for beginning bullet journalers because then you fill it up faster, you get that sense of completion faster. So this would be a fantastic, if I was gonna give someone a bullet journal for their first try, one of these might actually be a really great option. But I feel like for me, knowing what I know about how I bullet journal, I need more space, and having the larger grid just doesn't appeal to me. Plus the branding, just, I'm not a fan of that. But in general though, I would love to, A, keep giving this a try, seeing what I might want to do with it, and B, wish that they would come out with this same line in blank, because this would make excellent sketchbook. One of these would be a great sketchbook if you had blank pages. So having a blank option would be fantastic. As for the lines, like I'm starting to do morning pages and I actually prefer lines for that. This is actually the notebook I'm using for my morning pages, so I might switch to a soft cover one next because I think these ones are prettier and they lay a little bit flatter. So I may do that, but for journaling that would be great. But for bullet journaling, the dot grid tends to be the winner for a lot of people, and I would say that this is a good, not great option. I hope that that answers any of your questions about this. I would love to hear from you in the comments below, planners or notebooks you would like me to take a look at, because I will do my best to bring those in as I can. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video.